So, now that my mic is on, let's start over again, shall we? Thanks so much, Rick. Thanks so much, Darlene. What would I do without the Statterbox crew? I'd carry on for an hour and a half with my mic turned off. That's what I would do. All right, we're going to start this all over again. There's a reason why we have the Nelson ha ha emote here. And I got to tell you, every time someone throws that Nelson emote my direction, I got to love it. I love it every time. That's why we're here, to point and laugh at what we do when we're trying, but we just don't quite do it right. Because we love each other here, and we know that you're trying. We know that I'm trying. But sometimes, even when you're trying, it makes other people giggle. Like there. Like today. E-music. Awesome. Excellent, excellent. All right. So, now that people can hear me, let's try it again. I'm Matt Statter. Welcome to Chatter with Statter. It's 5 p.m. West Coast time, 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have got a bunch of awesome people hanging out in the Statterbox crew today. We've got Darlene, we've got eMusic, and we've got Rick. I've done a tech check before the stream started, or after the stream started, but before my face showed up, and it looks like we are streaming at 1080p source, but we have the gear. So if 1080 is too much for your system to handle, you can downgrade to 720. Shoot, you can downgrade to 360. You might even be able to downgrade lower, but I'm not sure about that because my systems are enough to go higher. So I get to go to 11, sort of, so to speak, we'll say. Excellent day. All right. So now that we've got sound and now that I've introduced myself, why don't we get this party started? Okay. All right. Now that we had that rough and bumpy start, hopefully things will be a little bit smoother with the sailing. Yes, sirree. All right. So we're going to revisit a topic from yesterday's stream or Sunday's stream. Sunday stream. What day is it today? We're going to say it's Wednesday. So many streams ago, the last one, many days ago, we talked about Mormon underwear, and I've got news for you. I have pictures, and it was safe for work to do the search, but since so many people were afraid, I searched for you. But before we go on that, I want to say, how's it to Malka503? Good to see you, Chris. I'm assuming you are Chris from Astoria, what with that 503 that you've got there, Malka. And if I remember correctly, you are going to be starting your own Twitch streams pretty soon, I think. If this is the same Chris that I'm thinking it just might be. So, hey, Andre, good to see you. You're on a hill on the very edge of San Francisco. That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. The only thing that would surprise me less is if you were on the streets of San Francisco, as it were. Okay, so speaking back of the topic that we had where everybody was super afraid of doing that, so many people had not heard of these things, and I honestly was kind of surprised. So, okay, cool. Yes, that is you, Chris. I thought that might be you. Okay, so last stream, I mentioned these things called Mormon underwear, which technically they're called temple garments, and I misspoke. I was under the impression, because they were called temple garments, that they were only required to be worn when Mormon people who have been confirmed fully within the faith, I thought that they were required to wear these underwear when they were in the temple. No. As it turns out, dudes, they're supposed to wear these every single flipping day. Every day. They're supposed to wear this. This is what they wear under their clothes. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. All I'm saying is Oh my goodness. That looks really uncomfortable. Like, I would not want to be the one to have to wear these temple garments under all of my clothes. So they're really like not temple garments. They're just Mormon underwear, right? So, yes, exactly. They're truly holy BBDs. That is exactly it. And so when I was talking about these things, I wasn't, like, and people were afraid to look them up. Quite literally, no, very safe for work. You could probably wear just the temple garments out in public and no one would really blink an eye other than that's a weird outfit, but it's covering everything it needs to cover, right? So, all right, looks like we got Kenny in the house. It's that time again. Put your hands together for that lovable line star loony, the brother from another mother, the man, the myth, the untold story, fresh from 3 days and 2 nights at Advent Hospital. Give it up for your boy, Kenny from the Cove. That is right. That is exactly it. Kenny from the Cove, like our friend Michael Anthony Smith, has been spending some time in the old hospital. Both of them are out. Both of them are back at home. Both of them were in the hospital for completely different reasons. And we're very, very excited that both of them came out of the hospital, got back home, and are both well enough to just be like, hi, I'm here. Everybody, we're here again. And that makes me so happy to see Kenny, to see that Kenny's here. And let's see here. Andre, the underwear and 2 years of missionary service. Now that is a hardworking religion. Yeah, exactly. And apparently, the underwear for the Mormons, it has some pretty specific, like you can't, they always have to be white unless you're in the military, in which case they can be fatigue colored. However, only men in the military are allowed to wear the fatigued colored temple garments. I'm assuming the women always have to wear all white. I don't really quite understand that. There's an entire, look, I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. There's an entire chart on what type of fabrics can be used for what particular styles of the garments. And so they're very serious about this. And some of them are all cotton, some of them are nylon, some of them are cotton spandex mix. So that's good that they've got some mixed fabrics and things. But still, I don't care, dudes. Seriously, like wearing that underneath all of my clothes, that is not something that I'm all about. Not even close. Not even close. So yeah, that is basically what I was referring to last Sunday when I was talking about the Mormon underwear. So not really anything to be afraid of in regards to looking it up on the internet, but absolutely something to be afraid of if you're required to wear it every day. Can you imagine having to wear that underneath your regular clothes on, say, in August? Because yes, Rick, you hope they also wearing overwear with those BBDs. You better believe they're wearing overwear. You better believe they're wearing their clothes on top of that. Whew, I would just be one sweaty mass of sweatiness. I'll tell you what, they better have air conditioning every place anybody in temple garments has to go, because that is some underwear for sure. So let's see here. It looks like eMusic and Darlene are thinking about having some plans for St. Patrick's Day. I'm not sure what they've got in store and up their sleeve, but I do think they better wear green. I do think so. And yeah, the missionary LDS squad coming from you, Mad Statter. Well, you know what, actually? Now, I know you're joking, Andre, but actually, these temple garments that I'm talking about here, you're not really supposed to talk about them. Like, if you're in the church, like, you really, like, these are things that really, like, I'm not really supposed to know as much as I know about these garments as I know. Like, they're basically supposed to be kept on the down low. They're their protection from Satan for the most part. And they're not supposed to really talk about all the, like, because there's symbols sewn into different parts of them. And some of them even have, like, the full length pant ones have knee pads in them because as a symbol of your kneeling before God. And then there's like a compass symbol sewn somewhere. These are very, I mean, it's not like they're magical, but you know, they're of great spiritual importance, not to be shared with or made fun of by people outside of the church. And so honestly, what I'm doing right here is kind of like not okay according to the Mormon faith. I'm not part of the Mormon faith though, so I'm not breaking any rule. I'm not breaking any of my rules. And so I know, Darlene, their underwear, what's so special about them? Well, first off, you're not allowed to wear these underwear unless you have been confirmed into the proper level of the church. And then apparently, like, it's a big deal ceremony when you get your underwear. And like I said, you're supposed to wear them every day. And they're bestowed upon you in the name of some other person from your family who's dead. I mean, it's just this huge rigmarole ceremony. I didn't have enough time to like really read up on it. I sort of was just scanning some articles when I was looking for those pictures earlier today. And yeah, it's a big flippin' deal. And apparently, Rick, I know if they didn't want to share those fancy VBDs, why they put it up on the internet. I think it's a lot of ex-LDS people that are putting it all up on the internet. And yeah, I'm totally sinning. That's what I do. And so, eMusic, your connection keeps spinning. We have the gear, so you might be able to downgrade eMusic if you choose the lower feed speed or whatever it is. Fiddle with the gear, eMusic. You might be able to fix it. I hope. Because we do have the ability to downgrade the stream. I'm sinning against somebody else's rules. So, but apparently in the little don't talk about it secret underworld, I did like find a couple little articles, and apparently many of the women in the church have been begging the church to change up the temple garments. I guess they're really not good for UTIs and yeast infections, according to a lot of women I know too much information, but that's what the Mormon women are talking about. That's the little dirty little secrets about their little dirty little special underwear. And yeah, that's exact. The ex-LDS are airing the dirty laundry, Rick. That is precisely it. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. No silk, no mesh, no thongs. Phooey on those garments. Well, actually, they do have a nylon mesh that is on the side panels of some of the designs, because in 2018, apparently, they did have a revamp, and a whole brand new fabric was allowed to be used. And it's a cotton spandex blend. So it's a stretch cotton, 5% spandex, 95% cotton, and it stretches 4 ways. And so apparently that was like the super big improvement. But the women really are hoping for some sleeveless ones, and then some of the people who, want to modernize it, with the sleeveless and the stretch cotton. Okay, that's great. But apparently there's other parts of the church that want to go backwards, and instead of having the 2-piece set of underwear, they want to go back to the onesie, which I can't imagine how horrifying it must be to be wearing a 1-piece underwear underneath your daily clothes every day. Can you imagine being in a public restroom and having to go to the bathroom in a 1-piece underwear? I mean, you'd have to flip and take off. If you were a dude, you'd have to, and you were like all, like Mitt Romney, he's a politician, right? You see him in a suit, a tie, a button-up shirt. Oftentimes underneath his button-up shirt, you can see the outline of his weird Mormon underwear. But let's just pretend Mitt Romney's in like a bathroom in the Capitol, right? And he's got a one piece on. He's got to take off his jacket. He's got to take off his tie. He's got to take off his shirt. He's got to take off just to, I mean, what a pain in the arse. I can't even imagine. Well, actually, I can't imagine because here it is. I just outlined it for you. Yeah. So, well, nylon for tropical missionary work, actually, I think nylon at one point was considered more breathable than some of those things. So, and it is, the mesh is the nylon. So who flippin' knows, right? But yeah, Darlene, I get it, right? Nylons in tropical heat, you gotta be flippin' kidding me. Yeah, exactly. Oh, good. Nani Aloha just helped you out, eMusic. You couldn't figure it anything. You couldn't hear us. Oh, of course. Well, I'm glad that you were able to figure it out. And that that Nani Aloha was able to come to the rescue. By the way, I don't think I said hello to Nani Aloha. I'm not sure I have even seen her pop up in the stream. I'm so sorry, but I'm so happy she's here. And I'm super stoked that she was able to get you geared in. And Vanilla Coke Pepsi, good to see you. It's okay. I know it has been a long day. I've been running spinning my wheels as well. I'm really excited that I was here on time. So don't even worry about you being here on time or not. And you're barely late. Kenny from the Cove. No, the onesies don't come with feet. However, some of the onesies do come with little fasteners at the ankles, like you can tie them. You know how hoodies have strings that make you so you can close the hoodie face? You know what I'm trying to say? They have that kind of thing on the bottom of the pant leg at the ankles to keep Satan from going up your pant leg. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Oh, eMusic, she's not here, but you called her. Good sister. Yes, very good sister. Awesome that you've got that ace up your sleeve. So yeah, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you are fashionably late. And just so you know, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Mormon underwear and what the magic Mormon underwear that I was referring to last stream, that so many people did not know what it even was. And so I thought I'd give you a little bit of a lesson. And as it turns out, I mean, when I spoke and said that they have to wear the temple garments only when they're at temple, that was totally wrong. The temple garments, they need to wear them every day. And so, exactly. What even is that? Says Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Those are underwear. Those are underwear that confirmed members of the Mormon Church are required to wear every single day. Underwear. That's what it is, dude. I can't even. So just be thankful that, when your tiny or BBDs are running up your butt, just be thankful that you don't have to wear the Mormon temple garments, right? Right. So, let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. Goodness knows you don't want Beelzebub getting up your onesie and running up your thigh. Exactly. Vanilla Coke Pepsi. It's the Latter-day Saints, the LDS, the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses aren't Mormons. The Jehovah's Witnesses are witnesses. The Mormons are Moes, and I'm talking about the Moes, not the witnesses, which are different than generic Christers, because that's what I refer to the other Bible knocking folk that come who aren't either Mormon or Jehovah's Witness. You've got the people that knock on my door are either Moes, witnesses, or Christers. And pardon me for being so disrespectful, but they knocking on my door, so whatever. Yeah. So, eMusic, I wanted to show a photo because it's kind of hard to explain the absolute horrifying design and uncomfortable looking nature of these not just the bottom parts, but the undershirts too. I mean, and yeah, the ladies' top. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to wear a bra as well, probably under the underwear. But actually, Kenny is saying the ladies' top doesn't look very sportive. Yeah, Kenny, you know what? I don't even know where the bra belongs in that whole rigmarole. Um, so, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you're Catholic, but you're pretty sure it's the witnesses. Oh no, it's not just the witnesses. It's the Mormons do too. Trust me. No, trust me. Because the Mormons, they have to go on a mission. Well, not all Mormons. I think maybe just the Mormon boys. The Mormon boys have to go on a 2-year mission proselytizing throughout the world. Well, they don't go. The individual doesn't go over the world. The individual gets assigned like a certain area, a certain city. And so I mean, you might not see it, but if you ever see like 2 20-year-old looking dudes wearing white suits, no, excuse me, white button-down shirts, black ties, black pants, generally riding a bicycle, though not always, and carrying a Bible or 2 in their hands, those are going to be your Mormons that are on their mission. And so you might end up with a couple Mormons who have their mission that goes through your neighborhood. But you're right. The witnesses are generally the ones that come knocking on my door more often. But witnesses and Mormons are the 2 most common in my area. So Kenny from the Cove, you have Jehovah's Witness relatives and they often refer to themselves as J-dubs. Okay, now I actually like that. Okay, that's cool. I actually enjoy that nickname. That's funny. That's good. That's good. And Darlene, right, not everyone is the same size. How do you get those things fitted right? I can't answer those questions. I didn't dive deep enough down the rabbit hole to have that answer. But eMusic, gee, where could you get a pair? Well, you know, my best guess is in some areas, I don't know where the local one is in my town, but in the town I grew up in, there is an LDS store. And I'd be willing to bet that the LDS store does carry them. And then, of course, I'd be willing to bet you could probably get them online, right? But like, who wants to? But eMusic, I really kind of almost wish you hadn't asked that because I'm taking notes and I'm asking in my notes, where do I get a pair? Because now I'm kind of curious. I wonder, where do you get a pair? So there you have it. And Andre, thank you so much for the 300 biddy, the 300 biddies. Thank you so much. And yes, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, they're supposed to wear them all the time. Like I said earlier, I thought that they only were required to wear them in temple. But no, as it turns out, they're supposed to wear them all the time. Apparently back in the day, they only had to wear them in temple, but then somehow that changed. I didn't read enough to find out when, where, how, or why. But apparently sometime in the history, it has changed. And so now it's decreed they're supposed to wear them all the time. And so there you have it. Rick says, like I said, put that in your Google search and watch out for all the weird stuffs they send you. Oh, Rick, I've already got it in my Google search multiple times, both at work and here at home. And I haven't gotten anything super weird yet. I mean, nothing super weird that I could pin on that, at least. eMusic, that is hysterical. You call your JW friend a trick-or-treater. That's cute. I love it when friends are able to like, cause I mean, technically that's kind of mean, but it's not, it's cute too, because you're friends and it's funny. Let's see here. Vanilla Coke Pepsi says, to be fair, the Canadian people here, when someone goes to their door, would either invite themselves and give them their life story, or say they can't come to the door because we have to pay our water bill. You have to pay your water bill as an excuse. So what do you mean? Just not to answer the door? You say you have to pay your water bill? I'm so very confused about that. And yeah, Andre, exactly. Even Saudi women, yeah, even Arab women, doesn't even matter if it's Saudi or not, don't have to wear all the stuff at all times. Yeah, as soon as the men are out of the room, you can take your hijab off, no problem, right? Um, oh, okay. To leave awkward situations, you have to go pay your water bill. Gotcha. Just like in Hawaii, they say they got to go make some rice. So yeah, exactly. Gotcha. Gotcha. And so, oh, Kenny from the Cove, Facebook Marketplace Mormon underwear ads. You can hardly wait. Well, who knows? We know that the internet is listening. And so just the simple fact that you watch this stream, I cannot take responsibility for what Zuckerberg decided you may or may not want on your Facebook feed. But you are right. Actually, who knows what Facebook is going to think once you witnessed this live stream. Yeah, exactly. Rick, you wait for the full report in a few days when that goo algorithm stops laughing and starts sending. Yeah, all right, all right. You might be onto something. You might be onto something. That's true. That's true. So, all right. So that is what the Mormons are required to wear every day. But tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, which means all of us are required to wear green, right? Right? Does everybody else wear green on St. Patrick's Day? I don't usually wear green on St. Patrick's Day, but since I have a green tattoo, I figure I'm sort of covered all the time, right? That counts, right? Right? Once, though, I was at work and Vanilla Coke Pepsi, we have a kick when someone's not wearing green here. So, yeah, we don't kick them, we pinch them here. At least that's what it did. That's what it did. That's what we did in school. I don't know if I've ever seen a grown-up pinch another person if they weren't wearing green, but there is a social implication that you are supposed to wear green on St. Patrick's Day. So now everyone's green on Darlene's birthday. So wait, Darlene, is your birthday tomorrow? Is that why everyone must wear green? Is that what's going on there? Oh, Cindy Krause, you are late. You are late. And normally it wouldn't matter, but you missed the best thing in the world. You missed the Mormon underwear. Don't you wish that you could wear Mormon underwear every day like the Mormons are supposed to? Wouldn't you love to just be required to wear this under all of your clothes every single day? I wouldn't. So let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, you bet you rep your Irish ancestors with some green clothes and Guinness beer on St. Patrick's Day. There you go. There you go. Now, Andre, yes, not if you're an Ulster, then you wear orange tie to piss off the Catholic Irish. It's funny you should mention that. One of my Irish friends actually used to only wear orange on St. Patrick's Day because he was on that side. I thought it was funny. I really thought it was funny because most people didn't even know or understand what he was talking about. And then, a couple people who did know what he was talking about were kind of pissed off. They were like, don't bring that crap here. This is the US, not the UK. Leave that back in the war zone. And I can appreciate that logic too, but I still thought it was funny. Let's see here. Let's see here. I know, Cindy, right? Those are totally sexy undies. Well, now, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, that's not necessarily true anymore. The huge beef between the Irish and the Northern Irish has simmered down a little bit, and they're even talking about a unified Ireland one day. Of course, that would require the UK giving up control of Northern Ireland, and, well, there might be another war if that ever happens, so we'll see, but there is vague hope that Ireland can be unified at one point in the future, not, like, tomorrow, but, later. Later. E-Music, this is a pendant that is a moth. I'm not going to tell you what kind of moth it is because it's from South America, and it's got a lot of X's and Y's and H's in it. But it's a moth that has the different moon phases from one side to the next. And it was a gift from one of the viewers, and I don't know if the viewer wants to be revealed, so I will keep the viewer anonymous for now. But yeah, it's just a little moth pendant that's got the phases of the moon on it. So thanks for asking. And let's see here. On St. Patrick's Day, you get to roll out the only 3 phrases you know in Gaelic. Yeah, right, exactly. Something like faulty, even though that's not how you say it, and then something like slanty, even though that's not how you say it, and then something like pogmathon, but that's not how you say it. Because Gaelic has weird sounds for their letters, and it's really difficult to sound things out when you don't really understand that, like, well, when there's 3 L's in a row, it makes the TH sound. Really, I never would have thought that 3 L's in a row would make a TH sound. All right, then. Okay. So yeah, well, sure, the Ulstermen still march, but Andre, but but the war is over, and they have taken down the border walls between the two countries, and it's not like it was. It's not like it was at all. I mean, I think that thing, the not the NRA, the IRA. The IRA technically has been disbanded. Sinn Féin, whatever, their political arm is kind of just whatever. I mean, it's not what it used to be in the 80s when we were growing up. It's definitely more mellow now. So let's see here. Cindy Krause, Darlene, gee, I was going to bust out and order you a pair of those, I'm assuming Mormon underwear, for your birthday. Add a little lace, maybe, tie-dye. Actually, tie-dye would be kind of cute. And to tell you the truth, those tie-dyed might be a cute little outfit, like to wear as an outfit. Not as underwear, though. Not even close to underwear. That would just, so hot. But anyway, but speaking of random stuff, Darlene, don't bother Cindy, please. Don't bother. So, whenever I think of St. Patrick's Day, I'm reminded of this conversation I had once when I worked back in the corporate world. I used to be a mortgage loan processor, and I had, yes, exactly, Rick, the green and orange came to an understanding they can live with. So, like, let them live with it is kind of a good rule of thumb. But speaking of wearing green, so I used to be a mortgage loan processor back in another life, office job, cubicle, the whole nine. And I had a boss who was in charge. He was like a vice president of the mortgage brokerage that I worked for. Anyway, he was, and it was corporate, and it was, you have corporate relationships with your bosses and your whatever, but it just so happens also he was an older brother-in-law of one of my best friend's roommates. So I ended up partying a lot with this particular boss, like off hours, but we had a very business-like relationship at work as corporate requires. Well, he left. He quit that job and started his own brokerage company, right? So one day, St. Patrick's Day, I get a phone call at work, and I'm, hello, and all I hear is, "So, what are you wearing?" And immediately I know that it's my former boss, right? But this is a work time phone conversation on a work phone. And I don't really know how I'm supposed to respond to this because I am on the clock. He's not my boss anymore, but he used to be. So, like, what and so I've got all these thoughts just like overthinking in my head, just spinning like, I don't really know how I'm supposed to respond to this. So his first phrase, of course, was like, so what are you wearing, right? And then as I'm not sure how to respond to this, he's like, because you better be wearing green. It's St. Patrick's Day. And suddenly I was just like, okay, I completely took that phrase in the wrong direction than what he was meaning. And I just had to laugh. And so St. Patrick's Day always makes me think of the phrase, so what are you wearing? Which, is not really what St. Patrick's Day is all about. But yeah, St. Patrick's Day, little sexy double entendre that sent me into a confusion at my corporate job because I knew how I wanted to respond, but I wasn't really sure. Yeah, exactly, Darlene. It's just like, how do I respond to that? And I'm glad that I took a breath and let him finish his thought. It's like, are you wearing green? I was wearing green pants. So let's see here. All right. We have got some various and assorted conversations going on. So I'm going to go back in the chat. So Kenny from the Cove is trying to teach me things. Falcha is the fealty, and that means welcome. Slancha, which is slanty, means to your health. It's a drinking toast. I knew that. And then Pogmahone, I guess is what I'm supposed to say. And that's kiss your arse. Got it. And Cindy Krause, you're both green and orange heritage, according to myancestry.com, and you love them all. And let's see here, Andre, now talk about two colors that do not go together, orange and green. Oh, I like orange and green together. I think some shades of orange and green go very well together. Like, I think that tangerine orange with lime green is a particularly stunning color combination. Yeah, but that's just me. And Vanilla Coke Pepsi, carrots make it work. There you go, peas and carrots. But yes, that is true, Andres. Not all carrots are orange. Or Vanilla Coke Pepsi is the one who's saying, yep, nope, they're not all orange. And yeah, exactly. I do. That's what I was saying earlier, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. I do have a green tattoo. So nowadays I'm covered no matter what. But back then, I don't think I did have any. No, back then I did not have my tattoo. So there you go. And let's see here. Andre. Hey, Medstetter, I like snakes, and St. Paddy messed up the whole snake thing in Ireland. Well, St. Patrick messed up a whole lot of things in Ireland, actually. And the snakes aren't really, the snakes aren't literal snakes. The snakes are the pagans. And yeah, I'm not really a fan of St. Patrick, to tell you the truth. But that's just me. Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you have not a drop of Irish in you. You took a DNA test and it was like 50% Spanish and 48% Dutch and then 2% various. So basically you're just nothing but colonizers, just a different kind of colonizer is all. All right. And let's see here. And where you love the Pogues. Excellent. The Pogues are a great band, actually. And Vanilla Coke Pepsi, what are my tattoos of? My tattoos are of a bunch of different things. Let's see here. That's a hibiscus from that's the Hawaiian state flower because I was born in Hawaii. This is blackberry vines, and this is sunflower, and this is hard to show you, so I won't. Here we go. This is a bee. Where's the bee? There's a bee, and there's more hibiscus. And then this is a tree. There's a tree here. Whoops. There's a tree. I've got a bunch of them. I've got a sugar skull on the back of my leg. I've got a thistle on my ankle that got broken. I've got a pentacle on my other ankle. I have a yin and yang on the back of my neck. I have a lot of them. I can't tell you. I mean, that's all I can remember. I'm sure I have more, but thank you. I'm glad that you like them. I need to get more. I've got several ideas of what I need to get, but I don't have the money. I used to, I used to have expendable money, but now I don't. So, um, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you plan on getting a few tattoos when you're older, so it's very interesting. Well, I totally appreciate the idea of getting tattoos. Obviously, I'm not going to try to talk you out of that. But what I do want anyone who's thinking of getting a tattoo, who's not ever gotten one before, what I really want you guys to do, if you're thinking about getting a tattoo, is I want you to avoid what I notice a lot of people do, which is, hey, can somebody tell me a good place to get a tattoo? I mean, that's cool, and that's the start. But that's the start, because at the facility, you've got to first off have the right vibe with the tattoo shop that you're going to be working with. But then within the tattoo shop that you're going to be working with, you've got several artists, and each artist has their own individual style. So if you walk into a custom shop that specializes in Japanese cherry blossom artwork, and you want a tree of life based out of the Celtic folklore history, you're in the wrong shop. You need to go to a place that has the style that you want to wear on your body. There are some amazing tattoo artists there. And in a million different places, amazing tattoo artists throughout the world. And all of them have their own unique style of drawing and applying the ink to your skin. Somebody might be technically perfect in regards to the technique of putting ink under your skin. But if their drawing style isn't what you want on your body, then you don't want that technically perfect tattoo artist to give you a tattoo. You have to look at the portfolios of all of the artists that you go to or that you might be going to. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of footwork. It's going to take a lot of visiting to a lot of places, sitting in their lobby, looking at the portfolios of the different artists. And then when you've got a couple of them that you're like, yeah, okay, I could see that style, how it works with the vision I've got, blah, blah, blah. Well, then you need to talk to that artist. And you need to make sure that the words that you're saying, they're hearing right and putting onto the paper right. And if they're not, then you need to find a different person. And so there's a whole lot of, I guess what I'm saying is just because your friend Billy Bob got a super awesome tattoo from Jeff, okay, that's a super awesome tattoo, but is the tattoo that you are envisioning for your body of that style, of that color composition, of that, the way someone shades, the way someone colors in a coloring book with a crayon is different from one person to the next. The way a tattoo artist shades in your coloring is different from one person to the next. So you need to really pay attention to the details, because like you're saying, it's going to be something that's permanent on your body, and you better do your research before doing it. So just because, well, my friend Bob says that Jeff is a great tattoo artist, Jeff might be a great tattoo artist, but he might not be a great tattoo artist for you, for what you want. Maybe Jeff does some great Native American work. Awesome. I'm looking for Japanese Japanese sleeves. Well, Japanese sleeves and Native American work are two completely different styles. So Jeff might not be able to give you the sleeve you're looking for when you're looking for, the Japanese cherry blossom style. So now that I've gotten up on my soapbox about tattoos, that's my soapbox about tattoos. You really, really, don't just like, oh, well, so-and-so said that so-and-so is good, so I'm going to go to so-and-so. Don't get a tattoo that way. Don't. You need to go check out Jeff's portfolio. And Jeff's portfolio might be super sweet, and maybe Jeff is the guy for you, in which case you're super stoked because you found him first off. But don't assume that's going to happen. In fact, assume that's not going to happen. So, that's right, Rick. To plane. Nice tattoo soapbox. That was really That's really clever, Rick. That was really clever. And thank you, eMusic, for acknowledging the advice that I'm trying to, give on tattoos. I've spent probably close to 100 hours under the needle. I've worked with various and assorted tattoo artists. I have made poor choices when choosing a tattoo artist. I have made mistakes. I'm telling you how to avoid some of the mistakes. That's all I'm saying. Not trying to tell you how to live your life, but but definitely not going to shove you into something that you might regret later. Do I regret any of my tattoos? No, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, I don't regret any of them. What I do regret is not finishing them. Like this tattoo isn't finished. It's only got green. It's got none of the colors that were supposed to go in it. But the tattoo artist who did it up and disappeared before it was done. And, it's been 21 years since, and I have no idea where he is. So I do regret taking so long to finish one of my pieces that it now has basically become unfinishable. Because there's not a whole lot of, I don't have a whole lot of tattoo artists who are like, yeah, let me finish that tattoo, because it's just like, they're just finishing coloring in somebody else's work, and that's not nearly as satisfying. And I feel, if I could pay somebody to do it, but I just sort of feel bad, like, because I know it's not a piece of work they're going to enjoy working on, and it's going to take a long time. And so even though it's money, I guess that's another corollary to my advice when it comes to tattoos. You want to make sure that the tattoo artist enjoys putting the tattoo on your body. Like, sure, if the tattoo artist is like, well, yeah, I can do Celtic knotwork. No. You don't want somebody who, well, I can do it. No, you want someone who's like, oh, dude, I love doing Celtic knotwork. Let's do this. And so I don't really want to force a tattoo artist into doing some work that they just don't really want to do. So I don't regret it, but it's as close to regret as you're going to get, I guess. So let's see here. Oh, Andre, thank you so much for the 200 biddies. I really appreciate that. And Darlene, she's got no regrets because she's got no tattoos. That's right. And then Kenny from the Cove, whenever I recommend my artist to someone, I tell him, if you want to see examples of his work, come see me. Right. Well, there you go. Yeah. Okay, Andre, we'll talk later. Thanks for the 200. Thanks. Since Andre can't hear me, I hope he knows what this means. So let's see here. Yeah. Kenny, you're saying whenever you are, you recommend your artist, someone come see me. Right. There you go. Now, speaking of artists, so, so let's see. This one, no. Okay, I've got a bunch of other tattoos that I can't show them to you though, because they're on my legs. That one of my clients, actually a tax client, is a tattoo artist. And so I was going to him for several years. He and I had a good relationship. But then I stopped going to him for a while because I wasn't getting any tattoos. Well, then I started dating a guy who was a tattoo artist, and he was just giving me tattoos for free. So awesome. Well, when I went back to my regular guy, oh, he was pissed to see that somebody else had like worked on me. And so it's kind of funny how tattoo artists, Kenny, I wouldn't be surprised if your tattoo artist kind of feels possessive over your skin. Like, it's just like, that's my client, like who's who's been drawing on my client. So tattoo artists do get a little, if they like working with you and you guys have a good vibe, which is exactly what you hope for, they actually can get a little possessive, and which is quite lovely. Actually, you kind of want to strive for that, because that means you're getting good work out of the tattoo artist. That's what it means, actually. Kenny from the Cove, 400 bits. Thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. Kenny from the Cove, the guy who did your first tattoo, a Celtic cross, complained the whole time. He called it a Celtic nightmare. Exactly. Because first off, Celtic knotwork is its own talent to be able to draw it, let alone tattoo it. And so I'm not at all surprised that you stumbled upon someone who maybe wasn't that fond of it. But there are some tattoo artists that actually really specialize in and love the Celtic style. And had I known you, and, had we had this conversation many years ago, my recommendation to you would have been, you need to find a different guy. That guy's not, you're going to get a better Celtic cross out of somebody who's going to enjoy the work than the guy who called it a Celtic nightmare. And that doesn't mean that it's not a good one. It just means that it could have been better, because somebody else, I mean, come on, just think about it. If you love to make brownies, but you hate to make, I don't know, Brussels sprouts, which one are you going to put more love into? Brownies or Brussels sprouts? And Ann Ware, that's exactly it. My canvas. Exactly. Yeah, and Kenny, so Kenny, I think, is coming in with support with the tattoo advice, which is, once I started going to Adam, I never went to anyone else. And as long as my guy's in the game, I'm always going to him. Right. You want to find that in a tattoo artist. Because now I know that for a lot of dudes, this isn't going to mean anything, but for chicks, this will. Do you just go to a random hairstylist? No, you don't. You find a hairstylist that knows how to work with your hair, and it knows how to make your hair look the way you want it to look. Well, hair grows out. Skin does not. So you want to make sure that you vibe with your tattoo artist even more than you vibe with your hairdresser. Like I said, that piece of advice is not going to mean much for most men, but all you ladies, I think you know what I'm talking about. I think you're picking up what I'm laying down. That's what I think. Alrighty. So I know that I've got a couple different things actually that we could talk about. And I'm looking to decide which direction I think we want to scatter to. And I think we will go to a more intellectual pursuit than our tattooing talk, shall we? So, let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. Anyone with a steady hand, electric clippers can do the Jason Statham I'm sporting in my head. That's true. Yeah, some hairstyles are a little bit easier than others. That's true. And Vanilla Coke Pepsi, how are we all enjoying our week? I can tell you right now, I'm in the midst and the height of tax season in the United States. I don't know when tax season is in Canada, although it's probably sometime around now. And I thought on Tuesday that this week was already the longest week ever, and that hasn't really changed. So let's see here. Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Okay, actually, well, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Your question here is sort of throwing me off, because there's only one right answer, and I didn't know that anyone did it the other way. So Vanilla Coke Pepsi asks, okay, important debate. When making ramen, do you put the seasoning in before or after the water? You put it in after the water. In fact, not only that, according to the instructions on my ramen, you boil the noodles completely, and then once you take the take it off the stove is when you mix in the seasoning. So I don't even know. I'm a little bit gobsmacked that someone would put it in before someone like Vanilla Coke Pepsi and someone like eMusic. eMusic acknowledges that the directions say to put the seasoning in at the end, but you prefer to put it in at the beginning. Interesting. Okay, so Rick says boil the water, add the noodles, and then add the packet. See, but my packet says boil the water, add the noodles, boil the noodles, take the pot off the burner, put the seasoning packet in, mix the seasoning packet in, and then put it in a bowl. That's what mine says. But yours, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, says the instructions here to say to put it in before. Interesting. Well, I can tell you this, though. The ramen that I make is from Japan. So I wonder... Well, obviously they have different instructions. I mean, obviously. I wonder, though. Interesting. Why... So, like, if you boil the noodles, I'm wondering if I want to start doing this. So, if you boil the noodles in with the seasoning, do the noodles absorb the seasoning flavor as well? I think that's what I'm trying to ask. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to ask. If you add the seasoning before you add the noodles, do the noodles pick up the flavor? There we go. So Vanilla Coke Pepsi, the noodles absorb the flavoring and it's really good. Rick says you think so. Huh. Interesting. See, because I always, I was afraid to do that. God, everybody's doing it. Do you understand how embarrassing it is for me to be like, I follow the instructions? Like, first off, how often do I follow the instructions? And second off, everybody else is like, I'm the rebel. I do it the wrong way. I want to be a rebel too. Oh, good, Malka503, seasoning after. See, and the reason why I put the seasoning after, other than the instructions, or because of the instructions, I know that when you make miso soup, you don't want to... Vanilla Coke Pepsi, Legos have instructions? I had no idea that Legos had instructions. Wow, who knew that? Anyway, so when you make miso from miso paste, you're not supposed to make it boil. You're supposed to bring the water to a boil and then take the water off the boil and then put the miso in when it's still super hot, but not boiling. And then that's your miso soup. So I just sort of assumed... And I don't know why you're not supposed to boil miso, but I just know you're not supposed to boil miso. And so I just kind of assumed, well, I don't know, that maybe there was miso in the seasoning and you're not supposed to boil it. I mean, there's a lot of leaps of assumption that I guess I'm making here, but I assumed you weren't supposed to. I assumed that you weren't supposed to boil it. Like you weren't supposed to boil miso. I don't know why. Well, vanilla, yeah, like Lego sets have been around since the 70s. But my sister was into Legos. I just never could be bothered with Legos. And so I honestly didn't know that. I mean, I know that they, you get a box and it's like, in this box, you can build the spaceship on the front. I didn't know that they gave you the instructions for it, though. I just thought you kind of did it because that's what my sister would do. She didn't ever use the instructions. She just built the stuff. So there you go. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Wow, Darlene. Okay. So Darlene is coming in supporting Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Yep. The Lego sets have specific instructions to make it a certain way. Who knew? Well, everybody, except for me, apparently. Kenny from the Cove, ramen is a meal, not a model kit. Flute fooey on the instructions. Well, you have to know. I mean, you don't want to undercook your noodles, right? And you sure don't want to overcook your noodles. And you sure as heck, gosh darn, need to know how much water. You don't want to put 3 cups in when there's only enough seasoning for 2 cups, right? You know, I mean, it's just instructions are important sometimes. Gosh, I really feel silly saying that, but I'm supposed to be a rebel. Look at me. I'm covered in tattoos. I'm supposed to be a rebel. And here I am telling you guys to follow the instructions on ramen. I feel like maybe I'm not a rebel. Yeah, okay, so Kenny, no matter how old you get, Legos will never stop being freaking awesome. And eMusic's like, you got that right. Okay, so I've never really been a Lego fan, but apparently Legos, like, thank you, Malka. I am an outlaw. But apparently Legos, like, some people have been buying Legos as like kind of an investment, in the sense that I guess they only sell certain kits for so long, and then suddenly, like if you have the Empire State Building kit, that sold for $70, now people suddenly are buying them for like 250 or whatever. And so, yeah, people are actually buying Legos as an investment tool. People apparently buy forever stamps in that way as well, which seems like a very strange way to invest your money. But I guess if you bought a bunch of forever stamps at 25 cents, now that the stamps are going for 53, you just doubled your money? I don't know. It just seems like really weird. But yeah, Lego sets and stamps. People use them for currency type investments. Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, Kenny from the Cove, mixed messages much, instruction following Rebel. Well, yeah, that tracks. Everything about mixed messages. Yeah, sign me up. That sounds about right for me. Rebel, yeah. Following instructions. Well, if we're talking about ramen, yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah, stepping on Legos in the dark barefoot. I do think everybody knows that pain. Even kids know that pain. They might like pretend like it's not painful just so they can piss their mom and dad off, but yeah, everyone knows that pain. But I've actually stepped on something that was even worse than a Lego. In my barefoot. It was horrifying. Hey Elaine, how you doing? Good to see you here. We're talking about random stuff like ramen instructions, Mormon underwear, and now we're talking about Legos and how some people claim that they're collecting them for investment purposes. Even though Rick is saying there's no real collectible value for any of that stuff, just marketing. I totally agree, Rick, but I know people who are collecting Legos. It's sort of stupid, but that's just me being judgmental. And Vanilla Cook Pepsi, you fell on the stairs once. It kind of hurt. I can top that, my friend. I was taking the trash out in my bare feet and walking down the steps to the porch on the house that I used to live in before this house. And I was confidently walking down the front porch steps to the garbage can in the driveway below, and I firmly plopped my foot right down onto barefoot, by the way, right down onto a rusty nail. That's right, my friends. I stepped on a rusty nail in my bare feet. Oh. I don't know if it's the worst pain that anyone has ever felt in their life, but I can tell you this. I saw a flash of bright light in my head, and I immediately wanted to throw up from the amount of pain that kind of went jolting through me. And yeah, I didn't eat the dinner that I had made. I just finished making lasagna. I'd spent so many hours in the kitchen making lasagna. I was so proud of myself. I was cleaning the kitchen up, taking the garbage out before we sat down to eat dinner. And I didn't get to sit down and eat dinner because, yeah, I didn't want to eat anything. I was in the bathroom soaking my wounded foot. And, yeah. And this, this is when, this is just, woohoo. This is, proud to be an American, right? So, right. Okay. So, Ann Ware, oh, I'm sorry. Are your tetanus shots up to date? Well, first off, this happened many years ago. My tetanus shots now are, but this happened many, many years ago when I didn't have insurance and I didn't have a primary care physician. And and I was 99% sure that my tetanus shot was not up to date. So you're like, well, what are you going to do? I mean, what, and so I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't, but I just kept that wound open and soaked it in Epsom salts for days upon days upon days, and fingers crossed. But yeah, when you're poor and broke and, woohoo, yay, America, no universal health coverage. When you're poor and you are broke and you have no insurance coverage and you step on a rusty nail, you don't go to the doctor. You don't. I didn't. And you soak your foot a lot and you keep that wound open and you make sure it never gets infected and you do a lot of wound care at home and you hope that you maybe aren't going to get tetanus because after all, it was a flippin' rusty nail. Yeah. So no, I didn't, Rick, on the positive side, I got a new tetanus shot. Yeah, exactly. I guess I did. It was a different version of the tetanus shot, I guess, huh? But my tetanus shot right now is totally up to date. I just got a booster literally like 3 weeks ago, I think. So I can step on a rusty nail without any problems now. Let's not do that, shall we? Let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, you've done the rusty nail thing a few times. Sad part was a couple of times it was after I started working as a carpenter and it should have known to watch your step on the job site. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Or maybe gotten some, steel shanked boots, right? Yeah. Cause that's what those are for basically. And so, yeah, okay, so Malco, you're talking about the jacks that you play with. I honestly have never stepped on a jack, and I am so glad because, yeah, that sounds awful. And eMusic, you got it with this. eMusic has got it, right? So this is going to be, I think, entitled The Uncomfortable Stream, from Mormon underwear, getting tattooed, to stepping on rusty nails. Yeah, everything that makes you uncomfortable is covered in this stream. Mormon underwear to rusty nails. There we have it. That is precisely it. Yep. Okay, so rusty nails, painful on the feet. Everybody though has different things that are painful for them. And I'm wondering, Mormon underwear, tattoos, and rusty nails sounds like a very good rock album. It does sound like it could be a good rock album, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. I can appreciate that. Maybe you should record that because I know that you're kind of the rock and roll type. That and Michael Bublé, who I just saw. I didn't say it earlier, but I saw. He's coming out with a new album. I bet you're excited. But okay, so rusty nails, tattoos, Mormon underwear. These are all things that are uncomfortable. There's this game, though, that is taking at least the US by storm. I don't know if you guys have played it or not, but it's a game that, from what I understand, you either love or hate, because if your brain doesn't work this way, it's just not how your brain works, and it's very, very painful to play this game. But I'm just wondering, how many of you have gotten hooked on the Wordle train? Are you guys doing your Wordle quizzes every day? Because the Wordle, I was thinking, if nobody's done their Wordle quiz yet today, we could do the Wordle puzzle together. I've got the Wordle puzzle actually loaded up in case you guys wanted to play the Wordle puzzle. But if that is way too uncomfortable and what a nightmare, you might as well step on a rusty nail instead of play Wordle. We don't have to play Wordle. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see here. Temple Garnet and Rusty Nails, so many sad tales. There we go. There we go. That's a good start, Anne. I like it. And Malka, 503, has some words of wisdom. Don't nail your fingers together with a nail gun. You did that, unfortunately. Okay, so when you say nail gun, you're talking about the kind that's, I don't even want to say the words. You're talking about the kind that a compressor shoots, right? The compressor shoots the nail into your fingers. Is that what you were talking about? I want to know the answer, but I don't actually want to know the answer to that. Oh God, yuck. Oh God, yeah, and you said yes. Okay. You win. You won. And so Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you do Hurdle, which is the music version. I have heard of that. No pun intended. But I'm not really sure how that one works. But I was wondering, okay, so in Wordle, you always start with Crane. And it looks like Darlene hasn't done Wordle yet today. So I'm going to take this as, wait, no, what's going on here? No. All right. Why can't I do this? Hold on, wait. How about that? There we go. All right. So we're going to start the game. We're going to start it with Vanilla Coke Pepsi's starting letter. Oh, okay, Malka, the nail hit a knot in the 2x4 and it came right out. Ooh, bleh. That sucks. Okay, so Darlene, basic rules, never played Wordle before. Okay, cool. So what you see here on the screen is, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 6 chances to guess the word of the day. Now, the first guess that I put in was what Vanilla Coke Pepsi suggested. That's his first. He always does. I usually do Panty, Panty, but he does Crane. Cool. Okay, so I put in Crane, and now you can see that you've got the C that is highlighted in green. And what that means is the letter C is in the word, and the green means it's actually in the right place. So we already know the word starts with a C. That was good luck that we did that. So the R, the A, and the E, as you can see, are all highlighted in yellow. What that tells us is those letters are in the word, but they're not in the right spot. And then the N is all gray. What that tells us is the letter N is not going to be in the word at all. So, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you found the word already. All right, so then maybe you're going to have to keep quiet about what the final word is. Don't ruin it for the rest of us. R and C are the most common consonants and A and E are the most common vowels. No, that totally makes sense. I figured there was a method to your madness. A part of the reason why I choose Panty, as well, because T is a very common word and, etc. And P isn't too far off either. So using the rules that I've outlined here for everybody, does anybody have an idea about what the word might be? I do know that it's going to be C. It's going to start with C. And so yeah, I'm going to guess, this is what I usually do, right? So I usually go, here we go. I like to put X's where I'm not sure, and then I put in the things. So I think, actually, here's what I think. So nobody's gonna guess. Nobody's gonna guess what this could be. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess it's clear, but it's not clear. It's not clear at all. But we can see that the C and the R are in the right place, which is awesome. Maybe the word starts with CH, quite possibly. Here, let's do what we know. Okay, so we're going to do CH. Well, here's what we do know. We do know that, actually, no. Okay, so we do know that, it's that, for sure. And so you think that it's chair, Darlene? Okay, I'm not so sure I agree, but let's see what we got going on here. Go back. Oops, why wouldn't that work? Why didn't that work? Okay, so no, it is not CH. And it looks like we put the A in the wrong place, because the A, we already know, cannot be in the third slot or the fourth slot, which then says to me that it has to be CA something. And then XXR. So you got it in 3. Oh, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Well, you're playing by yourself. Knowing the word makes this so much funnier. Okay, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you can point and laugh at all of us, but that's okay. So so we know that the C has to be in that thing, and we know that the A, basically by definition, has to be where it's at. We also know that the R has to be in the R place, and we do know that we've got an E, but the E isn't going to be after the A, so it's going to be in front of the R. And so I like what Kenny has to say. Kenny says caper. So I'm going to try and see if we've got caper. Okay. So we're very close. Kenny from the Cove, you almost brought us there. So basically now it's just a case of, when you're looking at the letters in the typewriter below the chart, for lack of a better word, you don't want to pick any letter that has gray, right? So you're going to want to either pick a green letter or a white letter. And so Kenny, he's all about cater, which that was my instinct as well. So let's see what we've got here. And there we have it. We did great. Kenny from the Cove brought us home with cater. Awesome. So, for those of you who have never played Wordle, now you have. And now you know. That's how you play it. So, if and when you ever hear people, jibber jabbering about Wordle, oh, did you do the Wordle today? Now you'll have an idea of what the flying fork they're talking about. And the coolest thing about Wordle, I think the coolest thing about Wordle is there's only one a day. So you can't like get internet sucked into, you know how sometimes, it's like, oh my God, how did I just waste 45 minutes playing this, a series of whatever games? Because you just like, okay, well, I'm done with that game. Now I'll play the next. Oh, now I'll play the next. Now I'll play the next. Now I'll play the next. And suddenly you've wasted half the flippin' day doing nothing, basically. But with Wordle, you can't do that. They only release one every 24 hours. So when you're done, so we're done for today. So if you actually go to the little, like if you go to Google and you type in Wordle, and it'll take you to the Wordle site. It's a New York Times game, apparently. You don't have to pay to have access to it, unlike a lot of the New York Times games. Wordle is free. And so, so if you just want to, do a quick little whatever and then be done with it, Wordle is the game for you because you can't get sucked into it. Unlike, say, as Ann Ware says, what? You don't want to get hooked on crosswords or jigsaw puzzles like on Discord? Exactly. Because I don't know if you guys have hung out on Andy Boomatai's Discord, but let me tell you, dude, the Daily Pigeon Live Discord has a puzzle channel. And on this puzzle channel, you can play jigsaw puzzles online, either with friends or by yourself. It doesn't really matter. Because once you do it once, you're going to get hooked. You're going to get hooked. You're going to get reeled in. And you're just going to sit in front of your flipping computer putting jigsaw puzzles together. Even if you hate jigsaw puzzles in your real life, like I do, you will suddenly look up at the clock and go, how did it get to be 3 o'clock in the morning? And I've just been doing jigsaw puzzles for the last 4 hours. Where did the time go? Wordle does not let you do that because there's only one a day. Kenny from the Cove, Wordle looks like it would be more and more fun and addictive than 3D Mahjong. Well, actually, 3D Mahjong, another one that you can suddenly have wasted 2.5 hours of your life absorbed in trying to beat the clock for the Mahjong or whatever. All of those online games that just obviously your brain needs to zone out. I mean, really, I'm acting as though it's all something you shouldn't do with your time. No, really, it probably is something you should do with your time. It relaxes your brain. It puts you in a little trance-like relaxation mode, etc. But at the same time, if you have something you're supposed to be doing, sometimes those little puzzles can eat into the time you've allocated to actually do something, right? Yeah, and yeah, exactly, Anne. It's really calming to do. Right, precisely. They are really calming to do. Which is why it's so easy to get sucked into them. But, there are some things that that it's just like, oh, I must step away. And luckily Wordle does that for you. They're like, yeah, you must step away. And we're good because we're not going to have another thing for you for 23 hours. So we're good. We're good here. And your other excuse is that it's good for cognitive health. Well, it actually kind of is. I don't know about the jigsaw puzzles, but I'm pretty sure that the crossword puzzles are. Kenny from the Cove, use 3D Mahjong to wake your brain up in the morning. That sounds good. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Anne. You mean I need to do my laundry or maybe the dishes? No. I've got a puzzle piece that I need to find a spot for. That's exactly it. So, so let's see here. Okay, I think, all right, yep, no, all right. I was going to share with you this one thing, but I think I might not because it's going to get me in trouble. But it is close to the end of the stream, which means I could, in theory, show this thing that'll get me in trouble. But then I can edit it out really easy because it'll be at the end. Should I show the thing that'll get me in trouble? Because it will get me in trouble. It won't get me banned, but it'll get me in trouble. In trouble with who? It'll get me in trouble with copyright people. But there are ways to get around the copyright strikes. And so I think I might just not give a flying fork, as Rick said. And then when we're done, I can just use my magic Prel and I can make it go away. Well, now see eMusic and where, no, don't risk my stream. eMusic, no. Copyright strikes aren't as bad as terms of service violation strikes. Copyright strikes are actually, you can work around them. You can mute them. You can edit them. They give you a lot of leeway in regards to copyright strikes. So, I think I'm going to be a bit of a rebel who's then going to follow the instructions on how to fix it after I do it, but before I get in trouble. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, exactly. Kenny from the Cove. Don't be a skeered. Fish or cut bait. That's right. That's right. All right. So I shared this on my Facebook channel a week ago, whenever. I am not a fan of this band. I am too old to be a fan of this band. I am not a fan of this band. However, this band put out a video that is made for every single person in the world who remembers MTV when MTV played videos. And it's such a stupid, funny video. I have to share it because I feel like it might fill you guys with as much giggly, stupid joy as it filled me with. So, yeah, here we go.